Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to see your faces, to be here in community. We welcome you this morning to our Chime uh, worship service, student-led. I'm Ari Hilton, and I will be joined um, by, here she is, Val Lovelace and Sonia Turansky. We are second and first years, and we are here to invite you into this time of sacred space. I have a few Zoom etiquette rules, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with at this point, but just in case, we do invite you to put your view on speaker so you can see our adorable little faces as we talk. Secondly, I encourage you and I implore you to leave yourself on mute until you are told otherwise. And in fact, you will be told otherwise at one point. And thirdly, if you need to get up and move around for any reason, or you're on a portable device, please turn your video off. That will help us all. So with that, I'd like to offer this time and this space to all of you. And Sonia is now going to bring us into the service.
Good morning, everyone. O supreme and holy mystery, transcending all opposites, encompassing space and matter, creation and destruction, past and future, I and thou. We come together today as a community turning to you with intention and humility, to see you in each other's face, to hear you in each other's words, to feel your presence in our very breath. Gathered friends, as I ring this bell, let us take in 3 breaths together. With each inhale, draw in truth, compassion, and healing. With each exhale, let go of the chatter of our daily lives. Let go of that which no longer serves. With each breath, let us settle deeper into our own centers, abiding ever deeper in the boundless ocean of love.
Thank you. I'd like to share a poem with you first. God's World by Edna St. Vincent Millay. O world, I cannot hold thee close enough. Thy winds, thy wide gray skies, thy mists that roll and rise, thy woods this autumn day that ache and sag, and all but cry with color, that gaunt crag to crush, to lift the lean of that black bluff. World, world, I cannot get thee close enough. Long have I known a glory in it all, but never knew I this. Here such a passion is, as stretcheth me apart Lord, I do fear thou'st made the world too beautiful to fear. My soul is all but out of me, let fall no burning leaf, prithee, let no bird call. So, much to the chagrin of my co-leaders, having written a full reflection for you, I informed them this morning that I wasn't going to be sharing that. I had merely written it for them as backup should I drop dead of a heart attack in the night or fall victim to a leaf-peeping bus this morning.
There's my lady unmuted.
There we go. So here's where we're going to go instead. Once upon a time, or in the beginning, as you prefer. There was that mighty greatness, that universe, that one story, this gigantic energy that blew apart and expanded and expanded and expanded. Well, we know what happens next. And I need you to do me a favor now. I would like you to participate in a very quick exercise. Look right into your screen and blink. Now open your eyes, you've blinked. Look, people! And here we are. That's how fast it was, or slow, as the case may be, that we arrived. And when we got here, something happened. We were hungry, really, really hungry. Now we could go all through that Garden of Eden story and plenty of food, but who cares? We know. We got here. We're here. And now there's not enough food. Man, that mastodon ran off. And I'll be darned, those blueberries just aren't growing in the dead of winter. And I'm a vegetarian, so this is getting really bad for me. So as people, we realized, looking at our chipmunk friends and everything else on the world, that we had to stock up. We need stuff to get us through this coming season of darkness, of winter, of cold, of no flipping food anywhere. And as we did so, we realized, like the creatures around us, that we were thankful there was enough. And so we created celebrations. And that's what I want to tell you about, our celebrations of this harvest, this bringing in and having a nice little party to say, hey, we're going to have enough. We're going to live. We're going to make it through. Even though it seems dark and challenging and scary. And we've seen our friends and family die in the winters, but we know we might be able to help them along this time. So in my tradition, my people, Jews, we celebrate Sukkot, the fall harvest festival, where here in Maine, it looks a little different than in the desert, where, it's warm. And here in Maine, we throw together these sukkahs, these temporary structures in our driveways made of 2x4s and blue tarps from Martin's and shake willow branches and to the 4 directions. That should tell you something. Old school here. We're actually shaking willow branches to the 4 directions and saying prayers and eating pomegranates and praying to God that mom says, no, you don't have to sleep out in the driveway tonight. Because if you're unlucky, you do. But again, all of that is great and wonderful, but still, it's modern and it came out of old school, and we had to recreate things and pay the rabbis with food. And heck, my rabbi, he buys groceries too, so I have to cough up every month. But here's the thing. I didn't want to share all about Sukkot because I'm a Jew and I know about Sukkot. That's exciting and all, but I wanted to bring you something even more, a more greater melding of interfaith. And I stumbled into the weird corners of YouTube and found a beautiful song. And it was a song that I recognized immediately, but the words were very strange. And so I did a little more rep Googling and found the Garos. The Garo people, an ethnic group of Burma, Tibetan, who migrated and live in northeastern India and Bangladesh. And here these people who have been there for millennia celebrating a harvest, celebrating their rice harvest with priestly rites and dancing, 100 drums, songs, just like my people. Well, Christianity fell onto them just as Judaism fell onto my ancestors. And so they got mixed and muddled a little. But somehow, in all of that, something beautiful came out of it. And colonialization be damned, there's something beautiful in all of it, in all of our interfaiths, as each faith weaves itself onto another and into another. We get a song as beautiful as this. So I'm going to share a video with you now, a short video of 3 gentlemen singing. And it is the Christianity, this man, Chesak Sangma, or Chesak Sangma. I'm a Jew, I pronounce every CH with a ch, whether I mean to or not. They will be singing the song Metal Ichele. Now, Metal Ichele sounds pretty far out there, but I think when you hear it, you're gonna end up singing that chorus before you even know it. And you might even end up singing it in English. So here's our song. And after that, you'll get to hear from Sonia. Pardon. I had that queued up, and of course, it didn't want to. Good thing.
Singa, rakarina singa, anten kasro gegen metalentele, 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 anten kasro gegen metalentele, 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 anten kasro gegen metalentele. Salomi mengen, un salo kan bongen, anten kasro gegen metalentele, 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 anten kasro gegen metalentele, 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 anten kasro gegen metalentele. Sate bogra beba, anting gambo no ba, dukung beba, anting berapa
if you wear glasses.
Thank you, Ari. So around the world, there are celebrations about the gathering of the harvest. But I'd like to turn our attention right now to what comes next, which is taking stock of that which has been gathered. One of the most important and profound aspects of the autumn season is in taking stock of the resources that have been gathered, the sheaves that have been brought in to get us through the winter. It is a time of making a true and accurate accounting of exactly what challenges lay ahead and what stores one has in place to rely upon, in short, to see where you are right now. In past times, when we didn't have cars or home delivery or supermarkets, this sobering account was a life-saving task. For many of us, it still is important to physically take stock and prepare for the challenges of winter. Canning the summer bounty, getting snow tires put on, stacking wood and filling our propane tanks, having sand on hand for the coming ice on the driveway. It's necessary to be honest about the challenges we face and the resources we have on hand in order to enter the winter prepared and to ensure our safety and our material well-being. Taking stock internally is also necessary if we're paying attention to our spiritual well-being. And it is incumbent on us to be frank and honest in this assessment too. Owning one's inner obstacles and demons, as well as one's strengths and gifts, are truly required efforts for development of the soul. This is, I think, what is meant by the spiritual concept of surrender, to let our selfish defenses fall away, revealing our true and innermost character. Being honest and thorough in the surrender of the ego paves the diamond path of becoming transparent to the sacred source. And here in the transparency, all that is left is the divine. I appreciate these words by Ram Dass. He said, "I remember my first visit with my guru. He had shown that he could read my mind. So as I looked at the grass, I thought, my God, he's going to know all the things I don't want people to know. I was really embarrassed. Then I looked up and he was looking directly at me with unconditional love." It's a priceless gift of surrender to be caught in the arms of unconditional love. Those who have experienced any of the 12-step programs may know this. People share their darkest truths, and in doing so, give permission to others to do the same. Demons and regrets lose power as they're brought into the light. Where people have felt most alone, ashamed, and in hiding with their secrets, they're met with familiar recognition and unconditional love. Marianne Williamson was alluding to this when she said, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. To stand tall and to let your light shine bright requires throwing open the inner doors that closet both your beauty and pain, your strength and your shame. During this autumn time of reflection, this time of taking stock, I invite you to open those doors and shine the bright light of clarity on where you are right now. I invite you to honor the here and now as fearlessly as you can, recognizing that the smoke screen of ego is all that separates you from the holy source. I invite you to be here now, in your totality, and to give yourself the priceless gift of surrendering into the arms of unconditional love. We'll now listen to a song by Beautiful Chorus called Be Here Now. During this song, please take these moments to meditate on where you are right now, on what gifts and challenges you're taking with you into this time of the resting season.
Now
As we continue to be here now, I invite you to hold those gifts and challenges that you will be taking with you into the coming season. Hold them in your heart. And if you feel called, share them with your understanding of the divine and share them with others as your spirit moves you. Now is our time as a community for sharing. Together, our love, our energy, our divine sparks, our longings, and our strengths bring us closer to one another and the divine. Our prayers of gratitude, of joy, and of hope are prayers for healing, for strength, and for comfort. All of these we will lift up now in this sacred space we have created. We'll be using the popcorn style today, so please unmute if you wish to speak your words into the group, or if you prefer, type them into the chat and I will speak them into the space for you. Join me now in a nice full breath and share as you are so moved.
Cersei Moss MacDonald here. Thank you, Sonia and Ari, for this lovely service and opportunity to count my blessings. So I'm feeling pretty rich right now. I went to the anti-racism organizers of Maine yesterday, and just the wealth of information and energy and this feeling of like this righteous turn of events, that we are all part of this great social consciousness, this great wheel that's turning. The long arc of justice is turning towards right relationship. And I feel like my cup is full today, with energy and renewed hope moving into the future. So I feel very grateful for that intellectual and spiritual and social justice nourishment. And then, of course, giving a shout out to all the other harvest from the natural world that I'm enjoying right now, from the beauty to the actual sustenance that I'm putting on my table. Having a lot of fun with canning right now, particularly apple butter and raspberry jam and tomato jam and tomatillo sauce. And so, yay, fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Cersei.
Thank you for the lovely service. It's beautiful. And it's so good to be back and see everybody here today.
Thank you, Jean.
Yes, thank you for this beautiful service. I have to give my thanks to my family. My brother came to visit the past 2 days, and it's the first time he's been able to come and visit Maine in all the years we've lived here. So he and his wife and one of their many grandchildren, 15-year-old Lucy, came to visit, and we got to show them all the sights and just be embraced in family love. It was wonderful. I feel very blessed.
Good morning. I have my iPad. I'm not used to where all the controls are here, but I am just sort of basking in abundance, and really so incredibly grateful for the opportunity to recognize that and to just see all of the gifts in my life. And some difficult times have been with me recently, but I'm so grateful for the wonderful people in my life. And as a first-year Chimes student, the support that the program has just brought to me. And I have just more doors and more opportunities that are opening. And I am so incredibly grateful, not just for the fact that those doors are there, but for the presence to be able to see those opportunities, because I have to clear away a lot of stuff to see the beautiful opportunities that are there. So beautiful service. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Albert.
I will. I'm just going to jump in and say thank you very much for the reminder as we move into fall and so many things start up. It's a nice reminder, the beautiful intro and the words and the sights that you're showing us, a beautiful reminder of the things that we can be thankful for. Thank you.
Hi, this is Sonia. I had the privilege this morning before the service to attend an online teaching by my friend Tanzin Dasal, who's a Tibetan Buddhist nun. And she was talking about, well, she talked about many things, but she did one guided meditation where she said, imagine yourself as an individual isolated and, think about who you are as yourself on the left side. And then on the right side, imagine the 8 billion other people in the world. And that, first of all, they all are seeing themselves as individuals, but how much gratitude we owe so many other people for where we are, that the people who picked the cotton, the people who dyed the cotton, the people who sewed the clothes. One of the aspects of her teaching was that in Buddhist thought, it's really important to take responsibility for your own actions, and that a great part of your happiness is created by learning your own, taking responsibility and learning your own place in it. But that we require a lot of other people to also participate in making us happy. She was saying that, if you fix your car, you can be a mechanic, but you can't make your tires. You still need other people to make the tires. You still need other people to be producing and making, and you need your parents to raise you, and you need your teachers to teach you words, and you need many, many, many people in your life that support you in the work of living. So I just wanted to take a moment to voice my gratitude to all the people. Right now, I'll limit it to people, to all the people I know, and then the masses of people that I don't know who participate in helping me live this life. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. And now, may all these meditations of our hearts and the words of our mouths be pleasing to you, our divine oneness that binds us all with love. And I want you all to now deeply feel into what Val is going to share with us.
Thank you, Ari and Sonia, and thank you so much, Blessed Community, for sharing what's on your hearts and minds this morning. I'd like to start with a reading It was written by Jane Hirschfield in 2018, and the title of it is I Wanted to Be Surprised. I wanted to be surprised. To such a request, the world is obliging. In just the past week, a rotund porcupine who seemed equally startled by me. The man who swallowed a tiny microphone to record the sounds of his body, not considering beforehand how he might remove it. A cabbage and mustard sandwich on marbled bread. How easily the large spiders were caught with a clear plastic cup, surprised even them. I don't know why I was surprised every time love started or ended, or why each time a new fossil, Earth-like planet, or war, or that no one kept being there when the doorknob had clearly. What should not have been so surprising? My error after error recognized when appearing on the faces of others. What did not surprise enough? My daily expectation that anything would continue, and then that so much did continue, when so much did not. Small rivulets still flowing downhill when it wasn't raining. A sister's birthday. Also, the stubborn, courteous persistence that even today, please means please. Good morning is still understood as good morning. And that when I wake up, the window's distant mountain remains a mountain. The borrowed city around me is still a city and standing. Its alleys and markets, offices of dentists, drugstore, liquor store, Chevron. Its library that charges, a happy surprise, no fine for overdue books. Borges, Baldwin, Szymborska, Morrison, Kavassis. For me, autumn is a time of many surprises. Leaves that were once green suddenly shift to fiery colors. Bright orange pumpkins dot the fields. The air cools off, and the winds shift. It seems to come on suddenly, as though Mother Nature has stepped on the brakes, bringing summer to an abrupt end. As I consider the seasons, what I notice is how what we identify as distinct cycles are really interdependent relationships. After all, we can't experience summer without spring, or spring without winter, or winter without fall, and on the cycle goes. In the natural world, we can observe reciprocity in a beautiful balance of giving and receiving. And if we're still enough, we can observe the ebb and flow of this exchange, not only seasonally, but moment by moment. In the morning, it might be breezy and cool. Then the day warms and becomes still. Perhaps later, clouds move in and it rains a little bit in the evening. And even as I say the words in the natural world, I'm aware that truly there is no other world. But we humans have this way of seeing the natural world as separate from ourselves, or somehow ourselves as not really a part of the natural world. When reciprocity feels lacking in my life, I look to the seasons to remind and reteach me. Autumn for me is not only a time of reaping the harvest and taking stock, but also a time of letting go, a time of remembering to leave behind what no longer serves. There's sometimes a complex sense of completing and also not yet doneness about autumn. I like to watch the leaves falling, and I witness how they don't cling to the tree, terrified of letting go, screaming, "No, I won't go." In reality, trees actually help leaves go, and the leaves seem to agree that it's time. It amuses me to imagine myself as a leaf when I feel stuck in a situation where I want to grasp or hang on. Perhaps it's a belief I have, or an idea, or a particular way I think about things or even people. It helps me laugh at myself, and then it's a little easier to get out of my own way. It helps me remember how to let go and allow myself to rest or take a break. After the harvest and the hard work comes a natural cycle of turning in. Daylight shortens, plants collapse back into the earth, the air chills, and the earth where we live begins to rest as winter comes. It's a necessary phase. In fact, if a field is overused year after year, it becomes depleted, unable to grow anything. And I think that's true of us too. So I invite you to consider, what is in the field of your experience right now? What do you notice or bear witness to or feel called by? What will you harvest? And what needs to be turned under? What requires letting go? What is no longer serving you? And finally, how will you rest? We'll be closing with a song, and to end us on a celebratory note, I invite for your consideration. What was is past. What is only just is. And what will be only when it arrives, and that's not right now. So as Ari cues up the song for us, I invite you to stand and stretch and move around, certainly sing along. And then after the song, I'll have a couple of closing remarks, and then we'll remain in community to chat and catch up with one another. I'd like to thank Ari for being our technical support for this service today, and Lisa for supporting us, letting folks in as they came into the waiting room. And Ari will be bringing up our final slide, which just really has the purpose of Chime and our address and a link to be able to make a donation if you would like to do that. Your donations support our programs at Chime, as well as our ability to continue doing work in the community. So thank you very much for attending. It has been a real pleasure to spend time with you all this morning. And I invite you to stay and hang out with us and chat after the service.
But first, we're going to look at our beautiful opening slide that Ari forgot to share. So here it is. Beautiful photography by Sonia. And then here's our offering. And we'll post that information into the chat as well.